Pittsburgh, Arizona, 17-18. Arizona, 5.5. The total shaded to the over. Pittsburgh minus 170. Hefty road chalk in this game. Why not? They're Pittsburgh. They're off a loss to Vegas. They're probably going to bring a good effort. And Arizona's Arizona. They're awful. They played a upper echelon team the other night against Tampa. It was like men against boys on the ice. 4-1 win for Tampa Bay. What were the shots in that game? Something like 40-22 or something. It was just domination by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Complete domination. Their power play lit up Arizona like a December Christmas tree, kind of like the one in the background here. And that's basically all she wrote. I mean, that Tampa got those couple goals in the first period, and that was enough to cruise to victory against Arizona the other night. I don't trust Arizona to beat Pittsburgh here, not even me, especially Pittsburgh off a few losses in a row. When do we get concerned about what's happening with the Penguins here? They've now lost a few games in a row, including the game against Vegas the other night with Matt Murray back in the saddle, now, which should help. This has to be the get-well spot for Pittsburgh. I know they've lost a few games in a row, not something you want to see if you're the Penguins, but this has to be the game, the spot, the opponent to hopefully get well against. So we'll see if they can right the ship here against this Arizona team, which for the most part still can't get out of their own way. We've got both of the ice guys involved and wanting to discuss this hockey game, Penguins and the Coyotes tonight. Alex B. Smith, let's go to you. What are you looking at in the desert here tonight?
I'm actually looking at the Coyotes in this spot here. I mean, it's not so much a play on them. They're a brutal team, obviously, but I think Pittsburgh right now on that West Coast swing, I think they're kind of playing down to the level of teams that they're facing. Obviously Vegas, good team. You knew that Vegas was going to have a good effort, especially with Marc-Andre Fleury going against his old club, and they got the 2-1 win. But you look at the game before against Colorado, a 2-1 loss. Of course, that's in altitude. So I think this losing 3 of the last 4 for Pittsburgh, it's a bit concerning. Like I said, when do we start showing a little bit of concern? I'm kind of concerned now at this point, and no way I would lay out $1.70 or even a goal and a half with Pittsburgh. I think Arizona, knowing they have the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions in their building, I think they're going to give at least a puncher's chance and a good effort here tonight. So I would lean with them at like I said, plus 150. I'm sure money's going to come trickling in on Pittsburgh, so we could see this balloon up to 155, 160. I'll go with Arizona in that spot.
All right, yeah. Alex with the Ian Cameron special, banging his head against the wall trying to back this Arizona team, because I know I tried to early on in the season, and let's just say I lost a lot more than I won. So we'll see. It's a good price. We'll see. Pittsburgh is struggling. There's no you can't deny that. I mean, this has not been, and Pittsburgh's especially in this price range. It's sometimes tough to lay with Pittsburgh simply because, where's the incentive for them to just put their foot down and just roll through the regular season? They've got bigger fish to fry, eyes on the prize, but at some point they're going to have to get it going, because I don't want to say Pittsburgh can miss the playoffs, but they're out of a playoff spot right now. If the season ended today, Pittsburgh is not in the playoffs. So, okay, you can at some point put it on cruise control in the regular season, but they've been putting it on cruise control a bit too often, to the point now where if the season ended today, Pittsburgh's not a playoff team. That's a concern. At some point, you're going to have to step up, put your foot down, get on a win streak, get focused, get in that right mindset. And right now, Pittsburgh's not in that mindset, especially defensively. You look at their last 5 games, 1-4, their last 5. They've given up 3 goals or more, 3 of those 5 games. The offense has dried up a little bit the last couple of games. That's been an issue against Colorado and Vegas, 1 goal in each of those games. How does Jonathan Bernier completely shut down an offense like that? I'll never know. I could see Vegas doing it, but because Fleury's a good goalie, that's a good hockey team. But how does Colorado do that to this Pittsburgh team? I'll never know. They can shut them down. Bernier can hold them to 1 goal, but they did. So not only defensively have they struggled, but their offense has sort of gone away at times. And, to be honest with you, Crosby didn't do a whole lot the other night against Vegas. That was about as minimalistic an impact as I've seen him make on a hockey game in quite some time. I mean, obviously you give Gallant and Vegas credit for a game plan to shut him down, but still not much of an impact in that game. We'll see if he comes to life here. He's going to need to if Pittsburgh's going to snap this 3-game losing streak. Andrew's also involved in Pitt and Arizona. We've got Alex looking to take a shot with the dog here. What's Andrew looking to take a shot with here in the desert tonight?
Well, guys, it was kind of a funny joke on our last show on Thursday. I was, you take 2 teams that are kind of struggling, or not really struggling, but on different ends of the spectrum. the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, like you said, it was like a complete mismatch. It's a man among boys in that game. I mean, those were two completely different teams. So it was always kind of a joke between us because it's like that typical, the obvious puck line that I took as my best bet. Only caught it at around plus 155, but sometimes you look at those games and you almost think it's a trap to take the puck line because it almost seems like taking candy from a baby. It just almost seems too easy of a bet to take. And from this perspective, I do feel like this one, the puck line would be a little bit sketchy. And I agree with Alex that possibly the Arizona Coyotes could show some life here. But for me, the play is going to be on the over. And I had the over in the Tampa Bay Arizona game, but slightly as well. And the reason why it wasn't my favorite play and I wasn't actually in love with that play is that you don't really know how much you can really count on the Coyotes for. I mean, you don't really know how many goals you really needed Tampa Bay to score for that over to really fly over. So in my opinion, for me, coming off this game, I mean, it was a Matt Murray versus Marc-Andre Fleury game in Vegas. I kind of predicted it was going to be two former teammates. I had a feeling that game was going to go under. I mean, we were looking at 6 in that last game. So I think as far as this Pittsburgh Penguins team go, I'm always talking about how much I love the depth of this team. Their lineup, it just produces all the way down their lineup. Gensel, Crosby, Sherry, Brian Rust, Malkin, and Phil Kessel are your top 2 lines. Their power play is absolutely killer. And then you've got Arizona where there's just kind of just a slender of guys that kind of just slowly kind of decide to pick things up. I got to say, I love watching Clayton Keller play. He takes care of business on the power plays. He has been kind of slumping a little bit. Got to really wonder when you start to see Dylan Strome, when he'll start to be an impact player on this team, guys, because I'm still waiting on it. I don't really know when he'll turn into anything really too special for this team. But in summary, my play is on the over for these two teams right now. This game, I think that off a loss, off one of those really tight kind of games, 2-1 game for Pittsburgh, they're due for a little bit of an outbreak in scoring, guys. They still are averaging a decent amount, 2.88 goals per game. It's not the biggest. And of course, Arizona's averaging like nothing, next to nothing, 2.2 goals per game roughly. But they've been known to put a couple in. And I think that they're going to also be very prone to be getting slapped in the face by this Pittsburgh Penguins team tonight in the desert. You give this Pittsburgh Penguins team a day off in the desert. They're going to be rested. They're going to be fired up. And they're going to take their anger out on this really sad Arizona Coyotes team. And that's as simple as it gets for me. So not even on the side whatsoever, guys. Let's let this total skyrocket over.
All right. So we've got Andrew McGinnis on the over in this hockey game, Pittsburgh, Arizona. The problem I have with Arizona, and I took a shot with Tampa Zona over the other night, did not come through. 2-1-0-1-1. That's the number of goals for Arizona the last 5 games. I mean, it's just pulling teeth right now for this team. Offensively, you're going to need Pittsburgh to somehow pull the weight here, carry the load here if this game's going to get up and over the total. And you're right. I mean, Dylan Strome, we're waiting for him to get going here in the National Hockey League. Just 1 goal so far for him this season. That's not great by any stretch of the imagination to this point. So we're waiting for him to get going. What's happened to Max Domi this season in terms of goal scoring? I know he's got the assists, 15. But 2 goals. I mean, you expect more than that from him this season. He hasn't produced. Derek Stepan's been okay, but he's been inconsistent. Tobias Reeder's been a disappointment. He's only got 5 goals and 5 assists at this stage of the season. That's got to be better. Even Anthony Duclair, 7 goals, 6 assists. It's okay, but it's not fantastic. Christian Dvorak, who really had a great rookie season last year, he's got 4 goals and 12 assists. That's not great. Like, there's so many guys for Arizona shooting blanks that should be better offensively, and that's your issue right now. It's why you're having trouble scoring goals. So we'll see if Arizona can right the ship right now offensively here against Pittsburgh tonight. Pittsburgh struggling, 3 losses in a row. If they lose tonight, Pittsburgh, it's time to start getting concerned. It really, really is if you're Mike Sullivan and the Penguins.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.